Recording from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undercity Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 232. My name is Bryan.
Rene.
And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds. How are you guys doing today?
Not bad.
Yeah? You guys living?
Yeah.
You guys surviving?
Getting by.
4 days, dude.
Yeah.
I was told by a company that I wasn't autistic enough. I'm disappointed.
A certain company.
All right, so I'll go ahead and retell the story. But
I was told that apparently I'm not able.
No.
I'm not disabled enough.
Walt Disney.
And they told me, no, no.
All right. Well, before you get to your story and my story about autism, because I got labeled autistic over the weekend.
Which you are.
Apparently, I
heard half the story, and I was like,
"Oh, he is."
He is. I'm like, yep, that's autism.
Please go check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, for all the up-to-date information. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up with the Nerds. Check out our skits that get released every Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. Excuse me. Check out our socials: Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Thank you, Nick. And check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. Do you want to tell your story first about autism? You want me to go first? Okay, fine. Thanks. So I went to one of Andy's coworkers' baby showers, and I got questioned, like, oh, well, how do you... Mm-hmm. She started telling her coworkers that I have a weird way of remembering dates. Yeah. Because I cannot just remember a date. I have to associate it with a pattern that makes sense in my head. Yeah. So, for example, like our wedding date, I don't remember it as January 21st.
2 seconds. Why are you telling the story? Because we heard the beginning of this. Can you look up to see if that's an autistic trait?
Patterns of numbers. All right, so
remembering dates by patterns of numbers.
I think I can do it with you guys as well, because I don't know what your guys' birthdays are, but I think I'll remember it if I put a pattern to it. Okay. Anyway, so our wedding anniversary
test it out.
Is January 21st, 2023. That's when I got married. Okay. But the reason I remember that is because I remember it as 12123. That makes sense in my head. My brother's birthday is February 20th, 6 days after Valentine's Day. My sister's is the same day as my brother's in August. My mom's is 3 days after 4th of July. Okay. Andy's is the 22nd, because if I say the 23rd, she gets mad. Okay. And so one of her coworkers' birthdays, I associate with the number 13. Okay. Because the two numbers that are put together.
Really quick, I just did is remembering numbers in a pattern, and I stopped.
And it just said bad.
And it said is remembering numbers in a pattern bad, good, a problem,
a sin?
A good idea.
All of them. Autistic answers.
I'm just letting you know, because you did that, you're going to hell. That's a sin, boy. Yeah. It's a sin.
You sin, boy.
My Andy's coworker's birthday.
What the hell?
I associate with 13 because, it's August 5th. Now I remember. It's August 5th. 8-5 = 13. And then his boyfriend is December 21st because it's 12 and 12 backwards.
12? Okay.
That's how I remember things.
Okay.
Well, technically it says no, remembering numbers in a pattern is not necessarily a sign of autistic problems.
So I'm borderline autistic.
In fact, it can be a common trait among people on the autistic spectrum due to their heightened ability to recognize patterns and details, which sometimes manifests a exponential memory of numbers or sequences.
Hold on. Google, how do you say yes and no in the same
right?
You might be, but you're not.
I like how it goes, no, you aren't autistic.
But it's a common trait.
It's highly common trait in autistic people.
So what's your because the reason I don't remember dates is because in my head, numbers, if they're not pretty, I don't like them. Like, they have to be pretty numbers. Yeah.
All right, so look up pretty numbers. Is that autistic? Because I've never thought of a number pretty.
Like, if there's a set, like, I look at certain numbers and I think of them as, like, ugly or, like, oh, that's a pretty number.
What's a pretty number?
8.
What's an ugly number?
13.
47.
Really?
Why 47?
Because they don't look like they would be compatible.
They don't look like they would make it.
What is this, the matching game? Like the match game, or what is this?
It's like,
also,
see them together,
like,
I give it a year.
7? Cheater.
Also, 3. I
Cheats
think
on every
3,
number.
3 and everything
Three's
associated
a
with 3.
slut. Because all the curves.
See all the
Eight is thick.
you see that round bosom?
Also, 3
Put it on her side, you get an 8.
3 and everything associated with 3, I think are pretty numbers. 3,
So-
6, 9
But an 8 is just 2 3s.
What about 23?
together. Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking at. It's just 8 is such a good looking number to look at.
Okay. Now this is gonna be the question. And this is gonna determine
Okay.
if you're a sinner or not. How do you feel about the combination of numbers 666?
It's kind of like 444.
Okay.
Right?
So you're fine with that.
Hold
Sin.
Can you erase problem and go into sin? I want pattern and
It's a sin.
I want to see it.
While he looks it up, what's your birthday?
Mine is June 20th, 1992.
So June 20th. Yours is a pretty set of numbers because it's 2 even numbers and a 0. So I could remember that pretty easily.
Okay. Cool.
But
I'm glad I didn't have to have like a connective, like a little wire connected to my birthday.
But if I had to remember, like I like that number, so if I say it enough, I'll be like, oh, his birthday's on June 20th. But if I had to remember it somehow, and this kind of makes sense in my head, and I just thought of it right now, it's 18 plus 2. So 6 can go into 20, but there's 2 left over, and there's a 2 and 20, so it makes sense in my head.
You are the only person that I could think of that would make it more complicated.
It works.
Okay.
What's your birthday?
12/5/92.
See, you have an ugly birthday. 12 is an even number. That's a pretty number. And 5 is also pretty because 5, 10,
Okay,
15.
so what? 2 pretties make it ugly? What the hell?
Right? Two pretties cancel each other out.
Like they round, like
But
they run
12
at each
doesn't
other.
associate with 5 in any kind of way.
Why?
Because it's ugly.
But 5 is half of 12.
Yeah.
No.
Can be.
Yeah, but it's
The 5 is like a
it's
mullet.
also an even number with an odd number, so it makes no sense.
How does it not make sense?
It just doesn't work. Like if I look at 12 and a 5, I go like, ugh, like they don't go together. They just don't.
It gives you the ick.
It gives me the ick.
Well, what about if it's a 17?
No, that's even gross. Like 17, what does 17 have to do with anything?
What about if it was an 8?
It just exists, Brian. All right, it's not its fault.
12 and 8 would be fine
No,
because
but
it's 4 away from 12.
But it's just 8.
What about it?
It's just an 8.
Okay, yeah, 8 is a pretty number.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks cool.
Like you remember my birthday because it's 5 to 8. That's your pretty number.
that.
With
No, what do you mean 5 to 8?
Wait, am I thinking that wrong?
You're
That's
thinking 5 to
13.
7.
No, that's 13.
Oh my god.
5 to 7. Yeah, it is 5 to 7.
What about here's Mandy's birthday is August 15th.
That number does tick me off.
Yeah.
It's 1 away from 16.
You know what's
That
funny?
set pisses me
And
off.
you know what's funny? Mandy's gonna hear this and she's gonna be like, "Is that why Brian doesn't like me?"
Yes.
No, that actually,
Yeah.
you know what? That
He
one,
didn't,
that
he
one
didn't
doesn't
know.
give me
He
the
didn't
ick.
know that, but now it makes sense.
That one doesn't give me the ick. That
Yeah.
just like I kind of get annoyed. Like if I see 8 and 15 together,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just 1 away. Like why can't it just be 16? Why is it not 16?
You're right there. Like,
You were right there. Why'd you have to stop?
why'd you have to be born a day before?
Like we were talking about this. She's like Andy was just like, what if Melina was born like on like
Yeah.
An ugly number.
an ugly number? I'm like, God forbid. Well, right now.
Wait, hold on. So your wife actively knows this. Your
Yeah.
wife knows.
So I think
this.
the only date I think I had a problem with where I'd be like, oh, that's
Yeah,
such a difficult
I was
number.
gonna say like, cause you it has to be the number span of 1 to 30, and then
Yes.
of like 1 to 12.
See, like she's scheduled, or her birth date is March 17th, which is St. Patty's Day. Like
Are
that.
you-
That's understandable.
Are
Why
you
is
fine
that-
with the year 2025?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a 5. Like
But
that's.
why-
Pretty,
But you didn't like. But you didn't like 17 right now.
no, I didn't. But it's associated with St. Patty's Day, so I'm okay with that. The group of numbers 3 and 17
So
is associated.
So
with
what?
St.
What if
Patrick's.
she's born on the 15th?
Then that's fine because 3 goes into 15.
Okay.
Yeah. You see his face? He goes, "That makes sense."
So yeah. It was really bad because he was explaining this to us.
Yeah. Earlier.
Earlier, he was, and this is why we told him to stop the conversation, because he was explaining it to us, and then he goes, "I associate his birthday with 13."
Yeah.
Or what was it? 13?
It was
13.
Yeah, 13. And then I go, oh, it's because because the two numbers added.
6 can go into 7.
6 goes into 7, and they become and they become 13. And then he goes, yeah, absolutely, you understand it. And I then went, that is definitely autistic. And then I went, but also I think it's bad that I understood where your brain went. Like I totally understood.
But
that's your connection. Okay,
what's
that makes
Monica's
sense.
birthday?
9:30.
That's a pretty decent birthday because 9
It's a
and 3.
decent birthday.
No, because if it was the other way around, 3-9, that would be like a beautiful birthday at like a date.
I can picture as soon as you said, "What's Monica's birthday?" Monica's listening. You're like,
You know why?
She's like, I know where you live, Bryan.
You know what?
"See you on Saturday."
I'll punch you in the stomach.
So I have a decent birthday? Is that what you're saying?
She's gonna give you the gift. Oh, here's the gift.
She just walks up and goes like, "Oh, she's born on the 5th."
3-5, dude. I would be devastated. Like, oh my god, 3 doesn't go into 5. It doesn't work.
I hope it drives you nuts forever.
It probably
Every
will.
birthday, yeah,
No,
you
but
have
you
to
know
relive
why
that.
Monica?
Every birthday, you're just like, she could have.
You know why
She could have been born tomorrow.
Let me explain why Monica's
Monica
is decent. Okay, so 9 and 3 makes sense. It's just
Okay.
backwards.
Okay.
If it was 3-9, that would be prettier. Because I'm reading 3-9, but I don't read the numbers 9-3.
I'm just letting you know, it's great to peel back these
Layers.
layers.
As
Of,
you guys can see, we don't
Layers
have
of
anything to
autism.
talk about this week. So this is the show.
I love the layers of autism that we're folding back.
Keeping up with the news. Keeping up
let's-
with autism.
Like, and the worst part is I understand it. Like that's what's
See,
scary.
I just
when you-
remembered yours. I was going.
Like I understand where you're coming from, and like in my head, I'm going like, okay, I can see the pattern. I understand where you're going, which scares the hell out of me. And I'm like, dang it.
I just remembered
Makes
Renee's
sense.
birthday right now, like 6/20.
Yeah.
But yours, I had to think about it for a second because it's so ugly. It's 12/5.
I don't know why it's so hurtful when you say that. Like,
Hurts me when I think about your birthday, Nick. I just get
so what? 12/6 would have been prettier.
Yeah.
yeah, because 6 can go to 12,
That's wild.
right?
I have
So
to figure
if
out a
you-
way to.
if
You know
the
what?
pattern
No,
of
you
numbers
just helped me
don't go
figure out
in-
how to remember your birthday.
Why?
17. I finally found an association.
I said that earlier.
No,
But he didn't
your
come up
numbers,
with
two
it.
numbers add to 17?
Yes. I
Okay,
said
well, I-
But
17.
he didn't come up with it. That's why.
I know. I was like, why don't you just think of it as 17? And then you went like, no, that's ugly. And then you moved on. And I was like, okay.
Well, now I associate it, so I can
You're an
remember your
idiot.
birthday. 12/5/17. That makes sense now. I
You're
thought
right.
that.
You're right. You're like, oh,
Me. That was all me.
That was.
you're right. Bryan didn't associate the idea. I had to inception the idea. I threw it out there, and Bryan,
Guys.
it didn't click.
17.
And then his ears finally turned on, and
woke up
the
like Cillian
idea
Murphy.
went through.
Oh, I got it, guys. I'm gonna sell the company.
I'll just associate
Wild.
you as 17.
It's so wild.
I'm telling you, it's just like. See, I already forgot Mandy's birthday.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let me think.
Okay.
8/15.
Yes.
Okay, but I have to because that.
The thing is,
I'm gonna
okay.
hate remembering her birthday.
Fine what's
I-
Monica's.
I
9:30.
remember because the way I remember it because it's personal for me because my sister's birthday is on November 15th, so that's how I remember Mandy's birthday.
I remember Monica's because if I don't say happy birthday before she wakes up, I have a knife to my throat.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's a
My-
valid
my- but
reason
that's
to
a real
remember.
fear.
That's a real fear.
so
Death,
I
you know how you gonna forget? Like,
What's my birthday? 9:30. 9:30.
you know what's so funny? It's so funny because we were driving in the car and Monica's niece was in the back. No, and Monica's niece No, Monica's niece was in the back. And then all of a sudden we're driving and then I go, "Oh yeah, like we can do it for your birthday." And then Monica goes, "What's my birthday?" What's my birthday? And then immediately I went 9:30. And then she and then she's like, and then we're driving and then she keeps on going and she's like, "When's our anniversary?"
Oh, I can remember that.
And then I'm like, "Oh,
throwing it out there.
yeah," and I'm like, "July 20th," and she's like, and then all I hear is Monica's niece go, "When's Nick's birthday?"
Oh.
And then Monica's driving, and then she goes,
Just remember 17 now.
"No," and she's just like, She's like, December 15th? And I was like, December 5th. And then she goes like, oh. And I'm like, wow.
Right?
What? And it was so great.
Game.
It was so great because I had like vindication.
Yes.
I was just
Yes.
I
You
was
had a
right.
witness.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
You were wrong. And there was a witness. And it wasn't even because I thought about making the joke too of like, when's my birthday?
Yeah.
Her niece said it for me and I was like,
Yes.
oh, yes. She can't kill
got your back.
you.
Yeah.
She can't kill you. If I did it, she'd be so mad.
I remember Andy and I's anniversary because it's 11/7
11/7?
and 7.
Okay. that
What?
works.
Oh,
And
so
7. Yeah,
Mass Effect.
that's right. Yeah.
She thought I did it on purpose, and I'm like, no.
it just worked out.
It just worked out to be, one of the days I look forward to, for a couple reasons and Mass Effect.
Yeah. I think
No,
me and
you just did
Mandy's-
it so that way one of these Valentine's days you're gonna dress her up like an Asari. You should be like, oh, babe.
What do you mean, Aquarian, dude?
Oh. You get the helmet and everything. Just
Don't take the helmet off.
look it up. It's not what you know what we're talking about.
That's funny.
Oh wait, hold on. I have the thing. I'll look it up right now.
What were we gonna say?
You didn't know what Aquarian was.
That's I was gonna say just me and Mandy's anniversary. We didn't even. It's not even our official anniversary. It's just a date we agreed on.
Okay.
You know what?
we
Me and
started-
Monica are the same way.
Yeah, because
we
talked,
agreed on it.
Yeah, because we started talking and it just like, Oh, okay.
He said, "Keep the mask on."
Keep the mask on.
If you take it off, you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
All right.
Dude.
Are you gonna put a photo of her like on the? Yeah. Okay. Because I feel like that's also. A
That's
reason
so
why-
funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. This is what he wants, Andy.
Yeah. If you know,
This is
you
what he
know.
wants.
Yeah.
The hood and everything.
Hood and oh my
And the
god,
pistols. Yeah.
and the pistol and everything.
like this. Yes.
Put it to my throat. Like, put it to my throat. Put it to my throat. Put it to my throat. All right. Oh, I can finish now. Baby number 2.
That one's born on November 7th.
But I'm like, I'm not gonna say it.
That I want that as your baby story. I want that as
Conception story.
Yeah, this is your conception story. Like forever.
God, this is the nerdiest conversation we're
It
having
is.
right now.
It is.
Forget the Leia costume, dude.
Yeah.
It's all about putting on the Quarian gear
I want the Quarian
and
gear.
having her tell you it's like we gotta repopulate. Our race is dying. I got him.
It's only
Tell me
funny.
the same line that you said to Shepard in Mass Effect 3.
It's only funnier
If we
you
do
also
this,
have
I
the
could
helmet.
potentially die.
I would love it if you also had the helmet. So that way, as you're doing it, it's just smashing helmets. It's just.
It's just it's just the plastic hitting. Like,
I also want the ventilator.
yeah.
I want the-
And you try kissing, you just hear the plastic. It's like, it's just rubbing.
It sounds like
Give me your can. Give me your can. Give me your can.
Yeah. Yes, like that. Exactly like that.
That is the
Oh,
noise.
quite. Do it again.
That's the noise I want to hear from
Yes.
your bedroom. That is the noise I want to hear from your bedroom. Yes, that's what I want.
And for the audio listeners, what he just did, he did 2 aluminum cans together.
I swear to God, there was one day when we were over, and all I heard was that. I'd be like, "We gotta go. Like, we gotta leave."
Just randomly walking into Brian's place. Hey, we gotta go.
They're doing some freaky stuff in here. We gotta go. They're doing stuff I can't even explain.
There's deep lore that I have to explain.
I don't have the time. I don't have the time.
And that's what it is. You just have no time to explain it.
Oh my God, yes.
I want that to be the problem.
I hope my mom doesn't listen to this episode.
Oh, watch. This is
Oh
the
my
one
God.
time she's
It's
gonna
the
listen.
one
Yeah.
time she listens
Yeah.
to it. It's like, what are you talking about?
The peeling of the onion. Oh my God, it's so great. It only took 4 years, but we got it.
Oh.
Spit out?
I was choked.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay? You okay?
Yeah, fun.
right.
Oh my God.
Are you good? Do you need a break? Do we just call the show here?
Go, man.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let's
Keep
just-
going.
How long have you been recording? 20 minutes.
No, 20 minutes.
That
20
is-
minute
that
story.
felt like 20 minutes.
Junior stopped the show at
Yeah, it was
least
20.
3
It was
times
20.
already.
It was a 20-minute story. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Mine is not as funny. Mine's not. But your
went to
story.
Disney.
I should
No,
I should have went
we-
first. I should have went first. I know.
Because I'm going to bring it down to a different type of emotional level. And I don't want to change. I don't want to bum out the listeners.
We're on a roll right now. Mine was a different story.
So here's the thing. Look. We could just translate the story this way. I was called autistic over the weekend, and apparently my autism levels are sky high because I've got weird sex fetishes apparently now. All right, now you can tell your story about how you're not autistic enough.
Yes.
You went from like
Yeah.
up here to like,
Yeah.
you're just normal.
And
The mouse was like, no, you're not.
they just went stand in the line with the peasants.
How do they test your
gonna go
autism?
with the
Did they
peasants.
literally just put numbers in front of you, like find an association, and you couldn't do it?
Yeah. Here is a sequence of numbers. We want you to connect these numbers in your own personal way.
There's 5 answers. Go.
It's 16, 17. Which number doesn't belong?
5.
8. No, 17. Idiot.
Yeah, it looks
This guy's not
sexy.
autistic. This guy.
And they just have Bryan in the background, just like to confirm, like, why is 17 the number we choose? Because it's sexy. Because it's sexy.
If I hear from somebody that number is sexy, dude, I'm not gonna leave you alone with the calculator anymore. I'm not. You're referring to numbers as sexy.
Well, there's numbers in order have to make sense to me.
Yeah, and then they also have to.
It scares me.
They also have to make sure that they're a good couple. You know, that they're compatible.
I just imagine Bryan getting like the little foam ones and just putting them right next to each other and going. It's sexy.
Yeah.
You know what numbers do good look together? 5 and 4.
Well, that's a strong couple.
That's
strong.
Dude, it
That's
looks
they'll
nice.
make it.
45,
They'll- yeah.
54. It just makes sense.
You put
Like
them
she-
together to make the number 9.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. And I love the number 9, dude. Because it's associated with me. Born on the 9th month on the 19th day in 1993.
Comic strips.
I don't,
Because we're gonna keep going.
I'm beyond words. Of
I don't even want to talk about it. It's January. I think
I'm beyond words. I don't know how to.
Autism almost took over like the first half of the show.
I don't know how to brag about you. Like, I don't
brag about
like.
I must paint you.
Yeah. I want to paint you. Let's just.
What does your autism translate to in painting? Blue and yellow, those
Just
are
a
the two
bunch
colors.
of sexy numbers.
Just a bunch of sexy
Bryan.
numbers.
I call it the Bryan.
If you're gonna paint me, I need you to use blue and yellow. Those are the colors that make sense.
I would hate to see you eat like the numbered alphabet soup, like the.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Like if you had like the
Oh my God, I wanna make that
the
video.
alphabets with like with like
don't
with
even
like
get me
the
started.
numbers
I
in
used to
it.
eat Campbell's like alphabets.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and I
saying.
would leave certain letters.
Yeah.
No,
in the
you
soup.
would
Yeah.
not.
No way. I have
I
to
would.
see that.
No.
No,
As a kid,
that's
I
a
don't do
video.
that.
No,
I
that's a
don't-
video.
What do you mean that's a video?
We're making a video of that.
Why?
Because I want to see that, and I think you said it on the podcast. They deserve to see it too. Because They're saying the exact same thing as Nick is like, no, the frick. He leaves numbers or letters because he doesn't like how they look.
No, because I want to stare at the mark.
I just want to see you pick it up and go, G, not sexy. Just put it on the side.
No, it isn't. It isn't. How is it? How is a letter like like 3/4 is a circle, and then the stick goes inside of it? It makes no sense to me. And J is just like an extended U.
So wait.
So does
B is a flat 8.
So does double? No, it's a dented 8. Wait, so does W bother you? The word
No,
letter?
because it's 2 V's.
No, okay. So,
What about a Z?
yeah, what about a Z?
It's a sideways N.
He's not wrong. Yeah, he's not wrong. What about you?
It's just U. It's the half circle.
What about a Q?
It's an O with the stick.
It's also your last name.
It's
too.
also my last name, so
that's
it's
why
fine.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's acceptable. He's like the capital. He's like the capital version. That's dope.
He's been exposed to the letter Q enough that he's been
That I have to accept.
That is
A
wild.
is a tent.
That is a wild statement.
He's
Of
a tent.
A is a 10.
Oh,
and
A
C
is a
is
10.
another U, but on its side.
I think you hurt my brain.
D is a bump. It is.
What about X?
It's just 2 sticks crossing. It's perpendicular.
You don't seem to have as many problems with letters.
No.
No.
Wait, so what letters would you leave?
That I don't like. That I don't like.
G?
Looking at G, I don't like.
Okay.
C, D, E,
Don't tell me it was a bowl full of G's.
H, I.
We don't have enough time for you to go through 27 letters. Dude.
26. 26.
26. We don't have this kind of time.
As soon as you said that, we hit the 27 mark.
I think that's probably why, because I was looking at it.
You're really starting to make me hate 7 because all you can think about is 7.
Wait, do you have an obsession with the number 7?
He does because you mentioned 7 a lot.
In the intro, you say 7.
I group things in 7s.
Oh.
No, you don't. I have to see if that's a pattern. I'm gonna start analyzing your life and seeing how many 7s you leave
so
The
behind.
7s I leave behind.
So this is when it comes to counting.
Watch the movie 7 once a week on the 7th day.
Dude, that's a dope movie.
So
One of my favorite movies is Lucky Number 11.
7. Anyways,
how do you visually count? Like if you see like items and you're counting them, how do you process that?
how do I?
Yeah, how do you like count them one by one, or do you group them together? Because what I do is that if I see like 6, and then I just see, okay, there's 3 and 3, that's 6.
So it's hard for me. Like if you were to scatter cards, right,
Yeah.
or like let's say like beans, right, on the table.
Okay.
If the pattern makes sense and I can see groups, I count in groups.
Yeah.
But if it's so scattered that there's no visible pattern to it, then I have a hard time counting because then I start to like self-doubt that did I count that one or not? So I have to start grouping things.
Yeah, because how I do it for the register when I give people their change and they're like, okay, you get $7. I go, okay, 3 and 4, that's 7. Okay.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do the whole like I do like the quick count and then just like verify. I just kind of like
Wait,
subtract it.
So
in
you
my
just
head.
hand that person 7 ones instead of just handing them 5 and 2?
But that's how he processes it. Yeah. Because I would process it differently. So if you were to hand out change, like 7, I would do 5 2 1s because to me, I've worked with cash so much. Like even in elementary school, I was taught how to handle cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like I know how to like separate it that way. But change like pennies, quarters, nickels, dimes, everything like that, I have a harder time processing, especially when pennies come into play because every number in change is a 5. So nickels are 5s, dimes are 5s, quarters are 25s. To me that makes sense, but if you were to do something like 27, then I start to panic a little
I
bit.
separated everything to 10s when it comes to change.
Change. Okay.
Because then it's easier because they each stack. So 10, because that way it's 10, 10, 10, 10. So 10 stacks equals $1.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then if you want, you don't have to even count the next ones. You can just match them up to to those stacks, and then that makes another $1.
Yeah.
another
And that's
$1.
that's what happens when people pay me in like 20s. I do it in 5 increments. If it's like $300, I have to count and I go like, okay, 1 2 3 4 5, and then that's 100. 1 2 3 4 5. That's 100. 1 2 3 4 5, and that's 300.
And then you do that
yeah,
that way,
and
right?
and that's $300.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
To reference back the alphabet suit and what letters I leave behind,
Yeah.
it's the ones that are pretty, but also the ones that I see more often. that's what I leave behind.
Yeah.
So you would have left a bowl full of G's and Q's.
No, I would have
And
left.
B's.
No, like letters that I like to see because I see them in
Detonates.
patterns and I see them in things a lot. Like the letter B, E, like vowels I would leave behind sometimes because like they're so common. Except Y, because Y doesn't exist as much.
They're the letters that you
It's in your name,
What's in my name? B?
Bryan.
Yes, I know that.
The Y.
Yeah, but it's not common enough.
You write it every day.
I know, but no one. Do you realize that you guys don't even type my name with a Y?
Do we not?
No,
I do.
You do
Yeah.
because you tag me in there.
Yes.
But when you don't tag me in the posts in chat, it's always Brian.
That's the right way to spell it.
So I just
Wait,
gave
is-
up. So I don't leave Y behind.
Is there a right way to spell Bryan? Or is that just a thing?
It's just whatever.
Okay.
It's just more common with an I.
It's more common with them.
I mean, that's growing up. That's how I associated with Bryan.
Yeah.
So you're the first Y Bryan I've
Yeah.
ever met.
So there we go. Fully autistic, ADHD, and we're still figuring you out.
Yeah.
There you go. Comic
We'll never
strips.
know.
Portion of the show where we talk about topics that hopefully don't take 10 to 15 minutes. Today there's real no main topic, so we'll be pretty much doing a full comic strips issue for you guys.
This will be room for tangenting.
Yeah,
So,
basically. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing
You're
big.
welcome, guys.
There was nothing big
people,
to-
people have been wanting us just to do like an episode of just comic strips and just
Why?
go from there. People like when we tangent.
Do they tell you personally?
Yeah.
Well, they could comment down below. I don't know why. I don't know why they need to tell you everything.
Well, 'cause
That's the original comment.
because
It's the original comment
board.
box.
I'm the face.
Just around more.
Yeah.
You're just not here. You don't exist. You're an AI.
I'm a mystery.
Yeah, you're a mystery. For all we know, we're just AI robot. That's all it is.
Heck yeah.
Do you want to read it, or do you want to turn the thing a little bit more? Because I can't read it that way. Or you can zoom in. I forgot you can do that.
Costco is planning on switching back to Coca-Cola products, says CEO.
This is the one time I'm excited to see something red. As soon as I saw that, I thought of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to that.
That's all right. Here's the thing. Costco doesn't even have Mountain Dew. So I don't even care.
Yeah.
It's like I never cared for the Pepsi products there. So why do you have Pepsi products if you don't have Mountain Dew? So get rid of it.
That is wild that they don't have Mountain Dew.
Right?
Yeah.
They always had Sierra Mist.
They have Sierra
Yeah,
Mist.
Sierra Mist would be the
No, it's
only
not
thing I
called
would
Sierra
get.
Mist anymore.
Oh, is it Starry?
Starry.
Yeah.
It tastes different.
Starry. They
It's not the
have
same.
what's that? Iced tea? Brisk?
Brisk, yeah.
They have Brisk.
Don't they have also? What's the orange soda? Is it Crush?
No, they don't have Crush there anymore.
Don't they have an orange soda?
I thought they had Tropicana or something like that.
I thought
lemonade.
I thought it was the Tropicana lemonade,
Okay.
and then you're right. They do have an orange.
Yeah, there's an
soda.
orange one. Sunkiss.
Sunkiss. There
That's
you
what
go.
it is. Yeah.
That one's alright.
Anyways,
It's not
I'm
a
more
great
of a
soda.
Crush. Crush or Cactus
I think
Cooler.
Crush is Coke. I think Crush is Coke, isn't it?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's
So,
the thing.
so we might get Crush.
The only
cool.
complaint I have about Costco food is that their cookies are overpriced. That big old cookie for $2.50, I don't think it's worth it.
I haven't.
I like that cookie better than I like the
The
Disneyland,
churro?
no, the Disneyland ones.
Oh yeah, because Disneyland cheaped out on it.
Those little tiny cookies.
Yeah.
They're good, but they taste they it's weird because they don't get hard.
You want it to get hard?
I was waiting for someone to make it down. I was gonna say something, but I'm like,
No, they're just like straight. It's like it's almost
straight?
weird. No, it's yes. No, it's almost weird to me on the fact that like they don't.
Dude, what's in the Arizona?
hard-
You're on it, dude.
I know.
Yeah, like this is the first time.
Did you put
Brian's
Viagra in his Arizona when you gave it to him, or what?
You're
Like,
on it with the jokes today,
some-
man.
some blue
Like,
chew?
yeah.
What do you mean?
Here's
You're
some
never
blue
this
chew.
funny.
You know what?
Oh
Now
yeah, Sean
it's-
takes the day off, and you're like, oh, I gotta bring the funny today. Is Sean in your ear?
You know what?
Is Sean in your ear?
That's not my ear. I think it's just
Sean's
because
like,
I've
I'll tell.
accepted the
No,
fact
no,
that
say
I'm
this joke.
autistic. I
Say
didn't
this-
just hear from Nick this time.
embrace.
I just, you know what? That's
I know.
not
Wait a
my
minute.
spectrum.
Hold on.
Mask is off.
Wait,
I
but
could be me.
I've been telling you you're autistic for years.
No, but I didn't take it seriously.
What? All of a sudden, somebody else tells you?
No, because
this is
he's
the
gonna have a
same
kid
thing that
soon,
happened.
so-
Exactly.
you might
Yeah.
have the
Now I
same
have to.
traits.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's
Could you
autistic.
imagine?
She's autistic. I'm telling you
Could
right
you
now.
imagine?
I mean,
dude, Andy's gonna have a
it's-
headache.
You and your wife are both autistic, so that's fine.
Why is she autistic?
How is Andy autistic?
I don't know, but I'm just assuming if she could put up with your number thing, I'm pretty sure
No,
she
she
has her own
doesn't.
tweets.
She literally doesn't understand why these things make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she likes to push your buttons too, because
Dude, the amount of times she'll like go over and she'll.
No, it's funny because it was the first time we saw this when we were at Nick's party.
Oh,
At the fire
yeah.
pit. Your phone's like this, and you have it certain lined up, and he sees this. goes like this. Not even like a second. Bryan goes like this immediately, and he just keeps going. And then Bryan's like, "Stop!" And he keeps going like this. Stop! It's literally bothering Bryan, and she's laughing and stuff like that. So it's so funny.
And then
to
all of
see
us are
that.
just staring there in awe.
And we're just like, Bryan, why does that bother you? Because I have it in a way, like
it's there.
It feels comfortable like that. You're just like,
You doing that actually kind of did annoy me.
I know. That's why I stopped laughing, because you were like,
stop.
Yeah, you see it and then like. I'm gonna leave it like that after the rest of the time.
The whole night. The whole night.
You don't see it off camera. He just adjusts the light back.
He does adjust stuff.
He aligned it right down to...
Next thing.
It's crooked.
It like brings like it just like brings like a chemical like
imbalance.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I feel better. I have to organize things. Like when you do that, it's just like, ugh, I don't know.
Microsoft had their Xbox Developer Direct this past week, with new upcoming games being announced. Games include Ninja Gaiden 4, The Doom, The Dark Ages. Doom will be a single-player only game, largest campaign to date. Will contain more story told from gameplay and cutscenes than previous games.
Cool. Really quick, Ninja Gaiden 2 just got released as well too, the remake.
Yeah, the remakes.
Yeah. They're remaking all the Ninja Gaidens, but I think it's because
good.
It's on that like lull of Souls-like games with the success of like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and everything. People started to realize that maybe a challenging game.
It's the original Elden Ring.
It is the original Elden Ring. Yeah. And so you're kind of like, oh, a challenging game is acceptable. So why don't we release Ninja Gaiden?
Which is smart. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it like that, Onimusha, all those games that were like really, really difficult.
A game doesn't have to be like bad or boring if it's difficult. And
yeah.
Ninja Gaiden just came out at the wrong time. It's having a rebirth.
I feel the original God of War is also, it's pretty difficult.
But it's not in the same light as Ninja Gaiden.
I don't know if you were playing it on like that hard on like
God, on the hardest one
on like God mode. That one was pretty difficult.
First one.
Yeah, for the first God of War.
Does Ninja Gaiden have a difficulty setting? I thought it didn't. I think it had like hard and really hard.
I think maybe
probably.
Yeah,
because a lot of those early games had like a difficulty setting.
Yeah.
All right. Scary Movie 6 is finally greenlit, releasing June 12th, 2026. The Wayans brothers will be developing the film.
I don't know if I'm excited for this yet because I rewatched the first 3 Scary Movies.
Mind you,
dated.
Yeah,
the jokes didn't age well.
So that's the thing, is that they're knowing how the Wayans, because the Wayans have done, they haven't stopped making movies. They're still continuing making movies. There are some that they've done with Marlon Wayans and as well too.
Haunted House
still slaps.
Haunted House 2.
Haunted House 2 is really good. I think Haunted House 2 is better than Haunted House.
Haunted House 1 has some really funny parts, but Haunted House 2 is better.
It has a funnier narrative because the whole Annabelle thing is funny.
Yeah, the affair with the Annabelle doll is pretty hilarious.
The dog as well too.
Oh yeah, when she kills the dog.
Yeah.
No, isn't that the first one?
No, that's the second one. When the dog. Oh no, there's 2 dogs that die.
That's right.
Yes, because he calls the other one Shiloh too.
He calls it Shiloh too. That's right. That's right. Have you seen the Haunted House movies?
No, I haven't.
You should. They're good.
Oh, dude, I'm down to watch them.
I think I might have seen the first one, but I don't remember. It's because he said Annabelle, and I'm just like, I think I might have remembered.
It's when Marlon Wayans had sex with the Annabelle doll.
Oh, I think I might have seen a clip of it, but I don't think I watched it fully.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Scary Movie 6. They could do a purge kind of thing.
They have a lot of
and spin it on like how today's society.
You know what? I think
like
if they're gonna do Scary Movie 6, they need to go back and just go grab the original cast. Anna Faris, the Wayans brothers.
Well, I think Anna Faris would be down to come back if the Wayans brothers are.
Because Anna Faris is almost a perfect just straight person that's in the movie.
Yeah,
where it's
Sydney. Yeah,
yeah, like a perfect Sydney.
Everything's revolving around Sydney in the Scary Movie world.
Yeah,
well, everything's being thrown back now. Like everyone wants to revisit things from the past, so it makes sense that this movie was greenlit and isn't going to be in development. I don't think the cast would mind coming back. You probably will have a lot of people who say yes if they get called back to do this. As far as how the movie gets created, I think my big issue will be the fluidity of like the movie, because like the back then when those movies were made, you could forgive like very sloppy cuts or transitions from one part to another.
Well, they were cheap. They were cheap movies.
They were cheap movies.
I think he said. I think originally he did the interview with Sharp. And when they were talking about it, I think he said that they made those movies for about $2 million.
Yeah.
So, and then they $2 million, and then they did advertising for about $1 million. And then once it hit the market, it made like somewhere near like $175 million.
So I think this movie could still work with a couple $1 million in development. I think that would be totally fine. But having the choppy kind of like unprofessional look to it, I don't think it'll make it.
You know what? But the whole idea. But remember the whole idea of that, because the first one is supposed to be a slasher film, so it's filmed like a slasher film.
Yeah.
The second
one is a horror, is a haunted house.
Yes.
It's a haunted house, and it's supposed to be filmed in the essence of like House on Haunted Hill. What was it called?
Was the second one where one of the guys gets taken by the weed plant?
And then he gets
he gets smoked,
when Doherty gets smoked by a weed plant, because was it the third one that they did Hannibal?
The third one
where he ate his brain.
Oh no, that's the second one.
That's the second one, right? Where he opens up his brain and then he's like, "Oh, this is your brain on drugs."
So what's great about the Wayans brothers is that they take the most like
biggest
successful horror movie that came out during this time, and then they just run with it, and then they just bring in pop culture jokes of other like scary movies that came out in the past maybe like 2 or 3 years and stuff like that.
Because they also had like scenes from The Exorcist.
See, if they go into the indie horror genre, Smile, It Follows.
If they do like a curse film,
yes,
I think that would be sick.
That would be good.
That'd be good. I think they might do something like that.
Because the Purge idea that you had wasn't terrible, but I don't see them as political.
They did well.
Or social
writing
commentators.
well writers have already done that with Meet the Blacks.
Yes,
that's the thing. They did that with The Purge.
Well, then they also had Meet the Spartans.
Yes, Meet the Spartans.
They also had the superhero movie, because a little while after the the Scary Movie franchise kind of started getting big, everybody wanted to do these cheap comedies.
Yeah.
And so they started doing, the superhero movie with Jake Bell. Then they had Date movie
with Allison Hannigan.
Yes. So you started having all these like movies that were just making fun of genres and everything else. The one thing I'm happy about is that the Wayans brothers are back in the kind of the saddle, because in one they did really well, and with a really low budget, and the movie did really well. Number 2, they came back and they were there for negotiations, and then in 3 they pitched 3, and then the Weinstein stole it.
Yeah,
because they pitched 3, didn't tell them that told them that they would like kind of like they were gonna wait for the option, and then they ended up selling. They ended up telling them that we're going to pass, and they weren't going to sell their ideas. So they stole all their ideas, and then they tried to do it with other writers. And they basically said, oh, well, we have the blueprint of the Wayans Brothers movie. Let's just make a Wayans Brothers movie. And he said, you can have a blueprint of how to do a Wayans Brothers movie, but if the Wayans aren't involved, then it's not going to work. Which is true. Because look at like White Chicks, Haunted House 2, like all these Wayans movies and shows. They have a certain vibe to them and a certain comedic feel to it that you didn't get in Scary Movie 3 through 5
or White Chicks as well. Like the narrative. There's a narrative, but there's also like the jokes that the Wayans brothers continuously do throughout the movie that kind of like don't feel like they're necessarily super part of the plot, but they're kind of like they're there to kind of keep your interest.
Yeah, and you also saw it in like Marlin. You also saw it in like, some other stuff that like the Wayans brothers have been in. So I mean, I'm excited to see them back in the role. I think they're going to do an awesome job.
Yeah. I know that Marlon Wayans is like, really excited to come back.
Yeah. I just want to see more. I'm glad it got greenlit. I just don't know the direction it's going. Okay, so this one I thought was interesting. Actually, I think we can kind of leave that one towards the end, the Timothée Chalamet one, because we'll talk about the Oscars. Shyamalan.
Okay, so Seth MacFarlane announces that they have wrapped filming for season 2 of Ted. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I loved season 1. I've rewatched it twice.
Yeah.
Season 1 was interesting because
It
I
sells.
watched it.
Dude,
Did I have to convince you to watch it?
Yes, because I watched it and me and Mandy, we just burned through it.
Yeah.
As
It's a good
soon as
show.
the episodes were done. It's some of like that whole season's writing and narrative is so good, man.
It feels like classic Family Guy.
Yeah.
Back when like Family Guy was really, really good.
Yeah.
And it was kind of edgy. Like I love what was it? I love the first day Ted goes to school.
Yes.
And then they were like, "Oh yeah, we had an Indian guy once." Told you, we had an Indian guy once. And then he was like, "What a shame."
Oh, but he was he was really cool
what a
because
shame.
he always shared his Dunkaroos.
Yeah, he always shared his Dunkaroos.
But they
really,
got him.
really shame that they got him. And then I'm sitting to go, what do you mean?
they
What
got
do you mean? What do you mean they got him?
Who got him?
Who got him? They got him. Wait, but who's they? And he goes, they. And then he just moves on. And he's like, whoa, hang on, let's stop.
Hey.
I just like how he was like, yeah, he was a cool dude because he always showed his Dunkaroos. But then I got him.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Or what was it when you find out that the truck is gay?
Oh,
He's like, do you know why? Do you know why? It's because I'm gay.
See, what I like about that show is that Seth MacFarlane wrote this very problematic character, which is the father.
Yes.
This very, very terrible-minded man.
Yes.
But just make it funny, but then also have his
How do I-
understanding of where he comes from in a way.
They made him what is it called when you're
Self-aware.
They made a self-aware red pill
Yeah.
father.
Yes.
Did it stop recording?
No, it's just slightly adjusting your little high. Okay, you're good.
Okay, don't touch
Just
it
don't
anymore.
move.
Yeah, don't
No,
move.
you.
Apologize. Apologize to the stand for moving it.
It move on its own.
It's also
Yeah.
You do what I tell you to do.
Spit on it. Lithium battery starts heating up.
No, I'm excited for Ted 2.
Yeah.
As long as it keeps the same quality,
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because Ted, this first season of Ted, awesome. I think that however they go with it, I love seeing
Some of the jokes.
advancements.
So some of the jokes were really good because I think one of just random jokes out of nowhere is the ongoing joke of when they eat a McDonald's apple pie, and it's so hot every time you eat it.
Oh yeah.
And then they throw it into a pile of garbage and it catches on fire.
No, there's two lines that I really love
Yeah.
from Ted. They're two jokes.
Uh-huh.
The first one is, and this is an earlier one, the Monster Mash explanation. The
Oh, yeah.
Monster Mash.
Oh,
There
is
is
a song about the
dance that
the
never
Monster
existed.
Mash.
Yeah.
That's based off a song called the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
So
But
it
the
never
song
exists.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they can capitalize on that fact. And it's so
We
great.
have $1 million idea. Right?
We just have to develop the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
And it's so great because, like, anytime I hear the Monster Mash now, I
think-
always
you think
reference
about
that
it?
to Andy. I'm just like, we can cash in on
Yeah,
this.
this is it.
The second joke that I love so much is the explanation about Ted is Jesus Christ. Because he was born from a miracle.
Oh yeah, Star was there. Yeah, there was a star. There was a star on
Well,
everyone.
It's
Jesus
not
loved
everything.
everyone.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love
Your move, Friar Tuck.
I love the actor that does that plays the younger version of Mark Wahlberg's character.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he's so good.
He's so good. He delivers so well, and his accent is so bad. It's good.
It's
I buy it.
it's so Marky Mark.
Yeah.
It's like early Marky Mark.
Yeah.
You're the one that mentioned that in the first couple of episodes, like
Yeah.
the first two, he has a strong accent.
Yeah.
And then it disappears.
Yes.
over
Once he
the
gets a little
last-
more comfortable.
It's the same thing with it's the Scarlet Witch syndrome where it's like she had a heavy accent in Age of Ultron, but
No,
then
it-
by the time we get Multiverse of Madness, it's lightened
wavers.
up a bit. Yeah.
But it wavers. So when
Yeah.
she gets angry, then her
Yeah.
accent comes back. Yeah, I'm excited. I love that series. I think the best thing that they did was add the cousin.
The other
Yeah.
thing,
Adding the cousin to
Yes.
their to that like motley crew.
oh, the college girl.
His cousin, because it's interesting when you think about it. Every single movie always has that outside person
Yeah.
that's talking sense to these two morons. Because in the first one it was his girlfriend, it was Mila Kunis. Then it was the lawyer. So in the series, I think he realized we still need that third person, and him growing up with a cousin would be an easy
But
solution.
he knows how to balance, and yeah, it's going to get a little political, but he knows how to balance, like, both sides and making fun of them, because you have the completely red-pilled father and the completely blue-pilled cousin, and they're both wrong in certain instances.
Yeah.
But it's always like when they come together that like you can kind of see not similarities, but like at least an agreement where they're not fighting each other.
There's heart.
Yes.
There's heart in both arguments.
Yes.
And I like that because it's not the father is being a jerk for being a jerk's sake. It's this is what I grew up in. This is what I understand, and you being the way you are confuses me, and because I'm confused, I lash out.
Yeah.
I just remembered the episode where he goes to the doctor and he's afraid because they're going to put him under for a colonoscopy.
Oh yeah.
And then they go back and he couldn't talk about the thing that he did at Vietnam.
Yeah, because he's worried that he's going to say something. Because he red rocketed a dog. Right?
Yes, he had to jerk off a dog.
Yeah. That's why I said red rocket. So that way you could just look that up. Because I wanted somebody to go, what's red rocket a dog?
And then Google search.
And then Google search, and then it's just saying South Park, and then and then going, what is that? And then just red rocket. Red rocket.
I remember I had to pause the episode because I was dying.
Oh, dude,
the
I
moment
love.
he said that.
I love it because it was something that was so out of left field. It was because he could have said anything, and you would have been like
gay sex with some of my fellow soldiers.
I was molested by
a sergeant
by a sergeant, or I was like, okay, what million things could it have been? And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, to save my country, I jerked off a dog. and then you were, and I love that everybody in the room has the audience's perspective of just going. I don't know if you needed to do that, but we thank you.
And then you explain the story, and they feel bad because, like, no, this makes sense.
Yeah. And then I think she goes like, "Thank you for your service." Just
So that reminds me of a sketch I watched for the Mightiest Kids You Know, where it's they're making fun of Mission Impossible, and he's telling him the whole layout of like how they have to break it and get and codes and stuff like that. He goes, okay, first you got to enter into they're making fun of from the first one, a sterile room where if you touch anything and stuff like that, the alarm goes off. Then you have to go through this vent, the ventilation system, and then from there you enter to a room and you see a dog. Then you have to jerk off the dog, and then from there you have to go. He's like, wait, what? He goes, wait, why do I have to jerk off a dog? Oh, because he has the code. So once you get the code, like, he's all, wait, hold on. Why does he have the code? That's just how it is. He's all like, no, I'm not doing it. Why not? Come on. He's all like,
take one for the team.
He's like, you're like the fifth person to like turn this down. He goes, why'd you get Tom Cruise to do it? He's in vacation. See, he's probably doing free handies out already. He goes, that's why it's so frustrating. He's like, we can't find anyone to do this.
It's the weirdest thing to just throw out there. You just got to know how to deliver the joke. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah,
it's good.
All right, what's the next piece of news, Nick?
Robert Eggers says his next film will be titled Werewolf. Werewolf.
I think it's pronounced werewolf, but it's spelled weird.
I think that's were. That's
were. I know. I read it. And I'm just like werewolf.
Werewolf. Woof. That's a weird.
On the woof.
That's weird. Werewolf horror movie set in the 13th century England with dialogue from the time period.
That's not bad.
No.
Okay.
Do it. Let him do it.
There's also
I would love it if it's like the Romeo and Juliet that we had in high school, where they say things, but underneath it has modern subtitles.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, where art thou sword, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, where do you find the pen? I need to sign this paperwork. Oh, okay.
Nah, you know what? Raw dog it. Just give me
raw dog it?
Raw dog it. Give me 13th century English.
You want to raw dog the werewolf? You want to raw dog that werewolf?
No, you want to get raw dog by the werewolf.
No, funny enough, I was talking to a couple people that went to go watch Nosferatu. They were turned off by the language.
Really?
That was used in 19th century, like that kind of like old English.
For Nosferatu?
For Nosferatu, because it's very theatrical. It's not even of its time. It's just theatrical English.
I don't think was it Lillian Rose's character would say skibbity. like
Skibbity.
Yeah.
But it's like, because you were right. What did you say it was? It was like a thriller or was like a suspenseful horror?
Yeah, suspenseful horror, very gothic.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people were trying to find a complaint and they just complained more about the language for Nosferatu.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
It was understandable.
So I'm looking at this going like 13th
It's no
century.
Titanic.
13th century English. I'm okay with that. Don't give me the subtitles. Just let me try to figure it out.
On the same thing, per Deadline, he also set to direct a sequel to Labyrinth. Okay.
And then the last part.
In an interview with Rotten Tomatoes, Edgar states that he has no plans on ever directing a film in the modern era.
That's fine.
He said that he wants to avoid ever filming someone in a car or using a phone or a computer of some sort.
Because he can't do it. That's why I'm calling you out.
What do you mean that
He can't do it. That's why. You just see him and he's like, oh, he just sees a car and he's like, ah! Oh my God.
How does he arrive on set? Horseback.
Horseback, yeah. It's like, okay, Robert Eggers is going to be here. It's going to take about 6 hours.
Dude, I would love...
So we're filming in New Zealand? Dude, that means he has to take a boat all the way over here.
Dude,
Doesn't believe in planes.
that would be so funny if, like, you see Robert Eggers, he walks on set and he has, like, a cart behind him and he's, like, rolling. And then they're like, what is that? And he's like, oh, well, it's so that way if in case I have to send messages to producers. It's like, what do you mean?
Pigeons.
And then he just reveals it's carrier pigeons. And then
the carriage that they use in Nosferatu is the actual car.
Well, that's why that just plays on the whole thing I was saying about when we were talking about Nosferatu, that Robert Eggers didn't use any like lighting systems. He used the natural lighting in the room,
Yeah.
from the fire and stuff like that. So he didn't care about like, okay, my characters are not lit in well, because if this was a real thing,
they wouldn't be lit well.
they wouldn't be lit up like this.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Which
adds to the ambiance.
Yeah.
The DP,
so that's a good mindset. That's
the DP and everyone that worked on set did really well because, like I said, I watched it in IMAX. Huh?
Bet he did.
Oh my God.
Best DP.
You're funny.
Best DP in the business.
Yeah.
I watched it in IMAX with you guys, and then I went to go watch it in standard definition. And one of the things that I noticed is that, especially when films get very, very dark, you have that noise in.
Oh,
the
you have
dark
that
scenes.
like that static.
That
in
static.
the black.
That film had none of it.
No,
Really?
because
Yeah.
it had no like correction or anything like that.
And even in standard definition, I was like, oh, okay, laser. It was pretty cool.
That's great. James Gunn announces production of Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, has started. Releases a photo of Millie Alcock sitting in a chair with the new logo in the back.
I love how he can't announce anything without people just barging in and trying to say like it's crap. He literally just tweeted out the photo of
her
Millie.
sitting.
Yeah, it's like, nope, not my Supergirl.
Right.
Okay, well,
So
what do you mean?
Who do they want as Supergirl?
I don't know. It's just,
Melissa Benoist?
So
What do they want her
so
back?
You're not gonna go watch Brave New World, but you're also hating on the fact that James Gunn is doing this. Where do we draw the line?
Nowhere.
Everybody's upset about something.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. I'm excited. The logo looks sick.
The logo
I
looks
love
sick.
the Superman logos.
It's an interesting. I'm loving the Superman logo. I'm also interested to see what her Supergirl is and like how it's going to be.
Skirt or no skirt?
I'm okay with the pants. I kind of want the pants.
You want the pants and not the skirt?
You know what? Honestly, if you do a hybrid too, I'm okay with that, with the pants and the skirt.
I want a throwback of the skirt and the high boots.
Maybe at first time around. Maybe.
You know what? I'm
And by the
okay
end
as
of
like
the
a
movie-
proto suit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Or, because what if, like, because there's two different versions of Supergirl, right? The one where she comes to Earth and she's, like, fully Kryptonian out. Like, she does not understand anything about Earth and its life, right?
Yes.
And then there's the other version of Supergirl where she doesn't realize her Kryptonian powers, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's she, no matter what, she always comes and she's a little older. She's always older than Clark.
Because I would like this
Because
Supergirl.
there's one where she's in her 20s, like she's like kind of like in her 20s,
Yeah.
like late teens, early 20s, and then there's others that she's like 9, 10, and because Clark was always supposed to be a baby,
Yeah.
and so she was supposed to take care of Clark which also wild that she was supposed to be
Right.
like 12 years old taking care of a newborn.
Can you,
Hey, Kryptonians,
can you
man.
imagine her relief? It's like, you're Clark.
She was like, dude, A lot of my work is done. I was
Thank you. Like,
I was regretting that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man,
once you put it in a space pod and you're like, hey, you gotta take care of this baby. You're like, what? Hold on. Like
that would be so
Worst
funny.
babysitting job ever.
I just turned 18. Like,
I haven't even had a boyfriend yet.
Right?
I've already got a kid.
Could you imagine what the parents would have said to her, like as they sent her off? It's like, so we're gonna send you off in this pod. You're gonna babysit her kid, right?
no. What?
It's
We'll
not a
pay
baby-
you at the end.
It's not. It's,
We're gonna pay you after your services are done. She gets launched, looks behind her, Krypton gets blown up.
Yeah,
It's
you're like, what?
what happened to my payment?
Yeah.
your payment is life.
Did they send it like in my account? No.
No, your payment is that you're alive.
Like, it declined.
says they sent it, but it didn't complete.
It says that they did send it, but
In crypto coin.
But the crypto coin went from 2 to 0.
Right?
Like the currency no longer has.
Someone on this tech support from a different planet. Well, it seems it looks like the value of the Kryptonian coin just went down
It's a 0.
significantly. Which is weird because I was just checking like 5 minutes ago. It was at its highest.
And then it was almost like a boom. It just went away.
Yeah, it's like almost exploded.
Clark is like, what took you so long to
Man.
find? He's like, payment didn't go through.
I ran out of gas. I just ran. Well,
Hey, but look, you're alive.
you know what? But I do like the CW's version of it. I do.
We just laid that so good. I like that.
I do like the CW's version of Supergirl where she goes through a time vortex. She goes through like a black hole.
Oh,
she gets
yeah.
sucked in, and then she ends up pulling. When she goes into the black hole, she pulls out the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Like it's like a ship with the Phantom Zone on it and everything else that was off planet from Krypton because they put the Phantom Zone and the Kryptonian criminals off the planet in case they were to escape, then they wouldn't be on Krypton, which makes sense. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And you're like, okay, yeah, the Kryptonian criminals would definitely be off planet and everything else. So, I mean, that I really like. And then she grows up with the Danvers, who are friends of the Clarks and stuff. So, I mean, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. I like having a Supergirl who has two homes, where she remembers Krypton still, but she grew up on Earth.
Yeah,
That's a good mix.
There's also a good animated movie that they recently did with Supergirl that has to do the Legion of Superheroes. And
Oh,
stuff,
yeah,
where
with
she goes into the future and stuff. That one's really good. You
I
should check
feel
that out.
like, and I'm super happy that they're introducing Supergirl because that means that we can start getting Power Girl.
yes.
That means we can start getting Cadmus projects and super. And
I like how
that-
Power Girl was the first one on that list.
Well, because Power Girl actually is a really interesting, like, it's a good storyline. The whole thing of like Power Girl being a clone of Supergirl and she takes over. It's a dope story.
Yeah, she's gonna take over a lot, huh?
She's got a new costume change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they changed the costume.
Not as much
More-
cleavage.
No.
Yeah.
Did they reduce it?
Yeah, they
Look it up.
reduced it a bit.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the thing.
I personally, I would like a modernized Supergirl that's a little more earthbound. Give me the preppy Supergirl suit. That's what I want. The high boots, the skirt.
I once again, I like that for a proto suit of she's going out.
Oh, it's right here. Down here.
I wouldn't mind a proto suit.
Oh, it's they literally like
They just
reduced
gave-
it.
Yeah.
It's the same suit, but they just
It's
Yeah.
not a big old hole. They kind of made it like the shield.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And they just
Yeah.
gave her a breast.
It makes
reduction.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Oh yeah, they significantly. Gave
well,
her
her
breast-
back was hurting, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Kryptonians are only so strong.
All right. Well, any other points about Supergirl?
surgery. Just like,
So what do they have to do? A Kryptonian scalpel?
Yeah, Kryptonian scalpel.
Yeah, man. They had to take you into the Phantom Zone.
Did you not see in Justice League Doom?
Yeah,
that,
they
that
used the
Cyborg used a laser, synthesized it, and reduced it at a certain level. and
Batman
stuff
was
like
the one
that?
that gave him the Krypton.
Yeah.
Or the Kryptonian.
Kryptonite.
Excuse me. What the,
The
heck is wrong with you?
Kryptonian.
Oh my God! Move on.
Lego announces a new One Piece set to be released soon.
I'm happy people are excited for One Piece again,
I'm not.
but I'm also like weebs. Like
Yeah.
what happened?
Weebs.
It's good. I mean,
No, it's not.
Yo.
You're becoming me.
I am.
Is it
You
this?
know what? That's not.
I don't think they showed the sets yet. It
Oh, this
might
is
be
what
it.
you can get. Oh, this is rumored.
What's the boat called again?
The Sunny?
The Sunny?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the boats.
Right there. See the tip of that? It's a
I wouldn't-
sun.
The Sunny.
I
It's a
wouldn't.
sun,
It's a
Bryan.
lion.
Is it? Well, it's the shape of a. It looks like a sun.
It's a lion's head, but it's made. The mane is from a sun.
So it's always so funny how like
The ships are. I feel like the ships are easy. Like
it's
the
kind of
ships are super easy.
It's kind of sweet, but it's also kind of like it's funny to me how when people wear like anime stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not like out there in the open, it's kind of discreet. People get really excited. So like one of the cooks at work, she was wearing a one piece. What is it called again? The thing that you use to hold your hair up. The
Hair tie.
a hair tie, but it was Luffy's emblem, the skull.
Oh, okay.
Right.
His
flag?
There's the
Jolly
flag.
Roger.
The Jolly Roger. And so I'm like, oh, that's a cool one piece hair tie. And she's like, oh yeah, I have like different ones. I have Sanji, I have Zoro's, and I forget which one she has. And like ever since I mentioned it, every day she's worn a different one. But it's like kind of sweet that people get really excited about this stuff. To me, I don't see enough One Piece because again, I don't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's good to see Lego wanting to join in on this.
Yeah.
One Piece has blown up with the Netflix series and in
The
One
card
Piece,
games.
the card games, but also One Piece in general in Japan is huge.
Yeah.
Like in general, like Japan is huge with One Piece.
So now that it's
you
getting-
couldn't go more than a block in Japan without seeing a One Piece thing.
How crazy would it be if the creator of One Piece just ended it right now?
He already said he wouldn't. He said that they're on the road to ending.
Coward. If it's
Huh?
already popular in the U.S., I would say just end it.
No, he's
Pull
he,
The Walking Dead.
No, he has
I was
an
gonna
ending.
say, he said ended. I'm like, oh, kill myself. Okay.
but I mean he already has it. He has an ending planned. That's
Yeah, I
why,
know, yeah.
and he's getting to it and everything else. Is
when?
just like, probably
After
like
another 1,000 issues,
Nope. Yeah, probably.
No,
Like
it's,
another,
it's gonna be like a berserk where they're just
they just keep going.
No,
no,
that-
like basically the author will die, and then it's like maybe he has
No,
a plan
he-
on how to end it.
no, he already said he goes. I plan on finishing it, like well before.
And he's dead before he is in his deathbed.
Well, because he's already. I mean, because his biggest influence is
Toriyama.
Toriyama. And the fact that Toriyama didn't get to finish his story has really like kind of put that pressure on them. Because there's a lot of creators that don't get to finish their stories.
Yeah. You see that in Berserker. You saw that in Dragon Ball. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. But I'm excited to see what Lego releases because it'd be interesting.
Okay.
Ayo Adebayi is rumored to play Storm in the upcoming MCU X-Men films. Rumors around her taking the role have been stronger compared to others.
I've seen her name being floated around.
In case of you guys don't know, that's the lady
That's
who played
the bear, as in the bear.
that. Yeah,
She's
Was it the bear?
also
She's in the bear.
Envy in Inside Out.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't want to take this rumor seriously because it was posted off of one of those accounts on Twitter that like just loves to post like random
Oh,
crap.
just like random stuff.
But I started to see it a lot more in other accounts that were more reliable. And I'm like, I kind of can see her play a Storm, a younger version of Storm.
Yeah.
She's got a very serious face.
Yeah.
But can she act? I just want to see what direction.
I'm getting it for the next topic.
Oh, okay.
I want to know what direction they're going to head with this Storm. Are we going to get a very serious goddess-like Storm that's very confident in her powers, or are we going to get a very adolescent Storm that is still learning about herself and isn't ready to be the role model for the mutants that are going to be attending the school?
I think that Storm was already shown in the latest X-Men films, where they showed her. She's a younger version, but they didn't really do anything with her. So I think Marvel's gonna they try really hard to go the different direction than from the previous films when it comes to characters. They did that with Spider-Man. You know, they didn't show his origin and stuff. It was like, no, we're just going into him being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like he's already Spider-Man, but he's not Spider-Man yet. But
Yeah.
I think they're gonna go a direction where it's like a bit in the middle, where she's very much in tune with her powers and stuff, and is well aware of how powerful she can be, but on the same part of like growing as a character.
Do
and
you
stuff like
feel that because Storm grows up in Africa,
Yeah.
that's her origin. She's in Africa. Do you think the MCU splits the difference and puts her in Wakanda?
No, that's way.
I think they'll
No,
make
'cause
reference.
my thing is that we haven't seen the rest of Africa and everything like
Wakanda.
that,
That's true.
except for Wakanda. And if we were just to go, and especially if we do want her and the new T'Challa to eventually like meet, it's a lot easier if we go, oh, she's from Wakanda.
It's interesting though because like they haven't.
I don't agree. I'm
No,
just,
no, yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
It's just that they haven't really referenced mutants, so we don't know how. Like they've referenced them, but they just haven't set up how the mutants are going to be coming out in the MCU. Because the one true mutant we've gotten is Namor.
Namor and bit of Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
With a tease, right?
Yeah.
But Namor, we
Enhanced.
kind of understood that his origin is based off a mutation.
Yes.
yes,
When he was younger.
because he says I'm one of the first mutants.
Yes, but he didn't really ever was associated with Wakanda. He was from Atlantis. Thank you. I was like trying to figure out where. So to me, it would make sense if Storm wasn't really attached to Wakanda. Maybe just another country in Africa. I think I would be okay with that. But the reason I ask about like where we would put this Storm is because if you've noticed, Storm has kind of gotten more of an empress of like the goddess of like of nature in most recent iterations. X-Men 97, they reference her as a goddess a lot. You're gonna move it and it's gonna drop.
I'm gonna try not to. Just keep talking.
Okay. In Marvel Rivals, they reference her as a goddess as well. And there was another one where they did talk to her about this. So there was Marvel Rivals. There's X-Men 97.
What If?
Something. What If as well. Even X-Men Evolutions, like that show that came back like 20 years ago. Like she was the right hand man of like Charles Xavier.
Well, she's
a lot of the time.
Yeah, she because she was also the adults in the room.
Yeah, and I think that if they head in that direction, I think Storm would not become irrelevant. I think she'd be pretty relevant.
I
in the MCU.
like when Storm is the level-headed one in the room, and I want to hear her talk more about like nature and stuff, and
the connection and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and being a little more of like that. Oh, like I love that. I love.
Can
that
we
part
get
she
her
was
with that though? With the actress?
I think so.
I think she has a large range.
Okay.
Especially seen in the Bear and stuff like that.
I haven't seen the recent seasons of The Bear yet, so
She's very serious in this
she is.
season.
Okay.
But I like it. I like the idea of her too because she knows how to deliver dry humor, and I feel like Storm would very much deliver dry humor.
A dry humor person. That makes sense. All right. What's the next topic?
Alrighty. Next topic: Sonic 4 logo has been released with the 4 colors. Pink in reference to Amy being cast.
With the number 4, I should have written it that way. Sorry.
Yes. Will release alongside new Godzilla movie March 2027. And then I think it's this one.
You can probably pull it off Twitter. I'll send it to you so you can put it in the video.
Yeah, but from what I was looking up, like people
Yeah.
have been posting it like that.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the theory of the actress wearing the color clothing in the color?
I
of
saw
the
that.
next
That was
character?
interesting. That's a cool one.
So in Sonic, the first Sonic movie,
She's wearing yellow and blue. She's wearing yellow and blue.
and Tails was announced in 2, and then in 2 she wore red, and Shadow was announced in
Which character?
the actress, the girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wore yellow.
Donut Laura's wife.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
She wore yellow, then red, and then in 3 she wore pink.
Oh.
She wore
Yeah.
pink the whole movie, and then Amy was announced.
Yeah. So if she wears purple, we get big.
Yeah. But I feel like when you have Amy, big comes with her.
Well, not necessarily. I don't think you want to do what
If they want to drag out the franchise, they will do that.
they will, but I don't think you want to introduce too many characters at once.
But because I feel like Amy and Big and Froggy are all kind of like they're always together. Like Amy and the two of them are always together.
I see Amy and Cream.
Amy and Cream.
Yeah.
I feel like Cream is a little. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see where their explanation is for Robosonic, like who built him.
Robotnik.
I'm assuming that Robotnik did, and he was a failsafe.
Yeah.
In case Robotnik died,
Yeah.
he turned on.
That makes sense.
That's the only that would make sense
Yeah.
of like he's Robotnik's failsafe, like a last ditch effort to kill Sonic.
Yeah. I also want to know what they did with the Chaos Emeralds, and if that means that we get Chaos.
If the
Master Emerald split into the different Chaos Emeralds, then we would actually be getting Chaos.
Well, it would be interesting if Shadow has some and Sonic has some. If it's not the Master Emerald, and that's kind of like their thing of they have to go find Shadow's body.
Yeah.
To go find the other Chaos Emeralds because they split between the two of them when they both became gold.
By the way, I found out where Escape the City was referenced in the movie.
Where?
It's when he's running through London.
You can hear it.
That's where it was, apparently, because someone played the clip, and I'm like, I barely hear it.
Somebody needed to bump that music.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't hear it.
I didn't know either, but yeah. All right, next topic.
All right.
I'm not going to lie. Laughing so much. Now I'm
Tired
on like
yet?
now I'm tired, dude. I feel worked out. I don't know why.
Same here. John Barenthal has been casted in Jonathan Nolan's upcoming Odyssey film.
Not Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
My
I'm just
bad.
reading. I'm reading what's here.
Yeah,
I'm reading what's on the
That's my
slip.
bad.
He's casted in Christopher Nolan's upcoming Odyssey film. Tom Holland is rumored to be the lead for the film.
It's interesting that he's getting like all these really well-known actors and actresses for this movie.
Well, I mean,
I
now
feel like
he
he's-
has a namesake. You know,
Yeah.
you're in a you're in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna get recognition for it.
I feel like it's like a Tarantino thing.
Yeah.
If you get asked, you just say you. It's kind of like when he tells me jump, I just ask how high.
You just exactly.
It's new Francis Cordolopo thing.
I know that because I know that this movie, I'm either going to win an Oscar or I'm going to be
Nominated.
nominated.
Yeah.
My status will be elevated
Yeah.
by being in a Nolan film.
Oscar nominated Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he does really well as the lead, yeah.
That means that his acting career won't stop. He's going to be working until his 40s.
Yeah, and you know what? That's good because, and I'm really happy that Holland is doing that because his acting career outside of Spider-Man has been very well, because he had Chaos Fallen. What is it?
He had
Chaos Awakening.
Chaos Awakening with Daisy Ridley.
That one's terrible.
That movie is pretty garbage.
The one on Netflix with Robert Pattinson was really good. The Devil's Always With You.
Yeah.
That one's really good. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
he has some good movies, but like a lot of the movies that have come out recently that aren't Spider-Man movies haven't necessarily done well in the box
It'll be
office.
interesting to see him play. So he's then supposed to play Odysseus.
Yes,
So that would mean he needs to get at least a little bit more buff.
He could do it.
I know he can do it.
because
It's
he's
just gonna be
the main
interesting.
reason why he's so lean is for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Dude, in Spider-Man 4, we get a buff Tom Holland.
I'd be down for that. Dude, just
Buffer Tom Holland.
Yeah.
you just see.
He's
Dude, I want to see Tom
He's
Holland.
like as big as Tom Hardy as Bane.
Dude, I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see Tom Holland with no neck. He's just
Swole. Tom Swollen.
The black suit's taking over.
These most forward CGI'd.
I just want to see that moment where he has to turn, where he's like, I want to see that moment where where he looks like Michael Keaton in Batman Forever, where he has to turn his whole body.
What? Dr. Doom? Mr. Stark? Why are you a bad?
Mr. Stark, no.
So Andy questioned me because this was like a couple weeks ago. You know how they'll do reruns? I think Sci-Fi or like another channel will run Endgame and Infinity War in the background. So every time it's on TV, I put it on, and it's always at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and every single time Spider-Man's about to fade away, I end up like bawling. And Andy's like, "Why do you do this to yourself?" I'm like, because it's so good. What am I supposed to do? Not watch this good scene?
Yeah.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the next thing, so
Oh,
I
okay.
have a thing.
So that way
there.
you have
Go
it.
back
Got
to
it.
it. Hold
That
on.
way we have it.
What?
Go back to it. It's right there.
Oh, the Toxic Avenger?
Yeah, the one that you're talking about. Yeah.
Did he look up something else?
It's supposed to be Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
No, I was looking it up, and then you questioned me, and I went back.
Sorry, you
to
look
the
so
thing.
serious. When you get serious, I get
Because
scared.
I was listening to you when I was doing something else.
Anyways, Odysseus, Tom Holland, I'm in for it. I am also excited because I know it's going to get crapped on. If this movie is 3 hours, I'm ready for it.
I wouldn't mind this being an epic. Like if it was like chopped up a little bit.
Like part 1 and part 2? I'd be okay with that, but make each part 3 hours.
Because it's a long story.
Yes.
It's not
It
it's not a
really
very
is.
short story.
No,
So
it's
so
not.
you end it with him being
Right
stuck
up-
on the island of women.
right after the Gorgon.
Is that after or before?
That's right, or you can either do that or you can do the Minotaur.
A Minotaur.
No,
After
I
he-
think
after he
the
fini-
Minotaur should be in part 2.
No, you finish with the labyrinth and the Minotaur, and then him getting it, because then that ends his like quest, his first quest, and then he then goes on to the rest.
So does the reason the island of women is significant is because he loses years of his life there.
Yes,
So is that in the middle, or is that towards the end?
somewhere?
I think it's closer to the end.
I might have to read the book again. Wait, what did you say?
I said there's a joke in there somewhere. He loses all his time in the island of women.
I would too.
Like all relationships, am I right, guys?
Man, he texts you right now. What the hell? Just say Rene.
You know what I mean. That's me responding to her the back. Like,
Nick wakes up to a knife in his neck. Do you mean that, Nick? Do you mean that?
Like, do it, do it.
oh yeah, that's me. If that happens to me, do it.
You're
You're
balls to do it.
saving me the trouble.
All
Don't
right.
threaten me with a good time.
Last bit
Oh,
before we
that's
talk about the
I
what?
totally forgot about that.
What?
That is right. The Odyssey does take place right after the Trojan War.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would mean that the beginning of the movie would be the Trojan War. It would be the fall of Troy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the journey.
We would see
back
the
home.
Trojan horse, and then we go into this.
I think if that's the, I wonder how Nolan would do that, because you have
Just
to
takes clips from the movie Troy.
Troy.
deep fakes of so many people in that. Like,
No, because legitimately I am curious.
Give me the
like,
Star
how
Wars
do but it's an actual scroll.
Yeah, it's an actual
It's an actual scroll. It rolls up.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna keep it there for 30 seconds. All right.
You see Nolan's fingers and everything. And then it just rolls over.
in the background, you just see a camera that's made for IMAX.
That's so yes.
Shot for IMAX.
Yeah. No, because that's an interesting that when you kind of think about the fact that the beginning of the story is the Trojan War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, because that's an interesting like how
Like
exactly
30 minutes
what
of the
you-
movie right there. Like,
Yeah, like you could spend half an hour.
No,
in
you just
Troy.
show the end of the Trojan War and then them trying to go home.
But because my other thing too is that there's a lot that happens because of the Trojan War. Like there's a lot of explanation.
Well, if
of
you're
the
going to do
Trojan
that, then
War.
you have to go back even further to
But-
Odysseus
and that's-
leaving.
But that's what I mean, though, is like Odysseus leaving and then him get like after the end of the
Because
Trojan
you're
War.
forgetting the entire part where his wife basically gets like hit on
Yeah.
by like what's his face's name? I forget his
Was
name.
it Nebuchadnezzar? Or
Yeah, and he goes like, "Oh, your husband's not coming home."
Yeah,
She's
we're
like,
well
"No,
read.
He's still there.
We're well read.
And then like right before he gets home, she like folds,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah. It's a hell of a poem. It's a hell of
It's
a poem.
great. Yeah, it's a good. If you haven't read the Odyssey,
It's good.
read it.
I read
Just
it.
be
in,
ready.
When did you read the Odyssey?
Oh, middle school.
So did I.
Yeah.
I read it in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Now they don't even.
And because we were doing,
do that.
no,
we
the
were,
thing you would watch is just like maybe a YouTube video about it now.
No.
you know what? Now that I think
I
about it, yeah, I remember in like 4th or 5th grade, we went over like all the Greek gods. We
Yeah,
did every.
I remember that. yeah.
We did all that, and then I remember then going into the Odyssey, and then doing world history,
Yeah.
and then doing like, oh yeah, cool, this is Rome, this is Greece, okay, cool, and then they would then use the Odyssey and then go over that and go like, oh well, this is what he was talking about.
So we went.
you guys remember that too, right? I'm not high.
No.
You're,
Like-
that's why I haven't said anything. Is like that's exactly what I. Had.
So we went to Andy and I went to the Whittier Public Library when it first opened up, the renovations, and I took her to the children's section because I was trying to show her. I'm like, these were the books that I read as a kid, and they were these like not Scholastic, but it was like a different brand, but it was specifically like things of history. So like I remember one, and they still have it at the Whittier Public Library, Weapons of the Century. and it would show me like weapons from like the days before, ancient civilizations, all the way down to like the Crusades and stuff. And it was literal picture books with descriptions of like how they would use things. That got me into reading like Greek mythology, getting into it. I did learn about it in like 4th and 5th grade. By that time, and like,
no, keep going.
So by around that time, I was already reading Greek poems too because I was so interested in it.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my sister-in-law.
Did we get a better education?
I think we just cared more. Let's be real. I think we just cared because I was telling my sister-in-law, I'm like, one of my favorite Greek poems, Aphrodite is my favorite goddess. One of my favorite Greek poems is about a marble sculptor who lives alone in like a farm and basically never dated, never fell in love because he never felt worthy of it. So he gave himself a challenge and said, I'm going to design and create a marble statue of the most beautiful woman possible. Aphrodite comes and visits.
And makes it alive.
It makes it alive, and he ends up marrying her. And she's like, how do you know all this stuff? And I didn't mean to be rude, but I was just like, I just read. And she goes,
because I'm literate. That's what
he's like. Oh,
that's what you
and
told
I'm like,
your
no.
wife?
I didn't mean to be that. I didn't say it like that. It's
That's
just,
what you told your wife. Yeah, because I can
no, my
read.
sister-in-law.
Oh, okay, because I can read.
She's like, you just called me illiterate. I'm like, no. It's just I just that's what I was into like back then.
So many words. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand where that's coming from. Because strangely enough, I remember doing this in like 6th grade, which that's also the weird thing too. Because I never thought about it until like I was older. My 6th grade teacher was a hardcore like Bible thumper.
Yeah.
And I did not realize it. Because while he was teaching us the Odyssey and we were doing world history of like the Greeks and Romans, he was then teaching us Exodus and the Bible.
Okay.
And the correlation's there. Honestly, because not that it all took place at the same time, but it's same kind of region.
Parallels. They're distant parallels.
They're very distant parallels. Yeah. And everything else. Like they kind of talk about same people.
Yeah.
More or less. Not like 100% and everything else. And then I remember he also used to tell us like, oh yeah, if you can remember like certain prayers, I'd give you extra credit. Now that I think about it, it was hardcore indoctrination of Catholicism. like really thinking about it now, I'm like, oh man, like
so
maybe I should have told my parents what we were learning. So that way they could stop that. But for that, because Monica and them will tell me all the time, like how do you remember prayers? How do you have so much knowledge of like history along with the Bible, along with all these other things?
Because that's what you did.
And I was like, well, we had to learn it for school. Like
yeah.
I learned it in school, and then it was like, oh. And then I was talking to like her niece, and she was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I don't know who that. Because I remember in 4th grade. That's when we went over the Greek gods.
Yes.
Like, that's when we like went over like this is Zeus, this is Aphrodite, this is this person, this is how they're all related, and they went over the whole like mythologies, and then I think they went into like Roman, and then they went into Greek. This is the parallels, stuff like that.
So it's funny that you say it that way because I kind of reminisce of like how I was taught as a kid. I'm gonna be real with you. I just feel like people don't really want the kids nowadays. They're not reading because they're interested in certain things. They're just reading because they're being told. Like, that's kind of the idea that I get, right? Because I was thinking about, like, how I managed to learn certain things and how I got interested in stuff. You might think it's a joke, but the thing that did save me in high school was Assassin's Creed. Because when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, that was a lot of the Renaissance. That was
Italian
history.
Oh, I remember this in history class. Da Vinci!
That got me interested in wanting to learn about Roman history.
Please tell me you went to school and you were like, I know an invention that we're not talking about. It's the hidden blade.
You got 2 of them.
You got 2 of them.
The Vatican secretly has a room.
I heard
underground.
I'm just saying, Pope's bad guy. I'm not.
No,
he's the villain in this story.
I will say also, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
The other thing was the next year was U.S. history.
Right.
Assassin's Creed 3. They helped me out in understanding and wanting to learn more about the Civil War. So
how video games have impacted your life.
Yeah, because I would want to learn about it. Even Mass Effect, like reading the codex and everything like that, like understanding what the Mass Effect was and what dark matter is, got me interested
in dark matter.
Yeah, exactly. Not even dark matter, but wanting to learn.
I think this conversation just proves that don't have any tisms, because when I play games, I just I don't need to learn anything else.
I'm not
I'm like, just tell me
the story. It's over.
I'm not. No, when
I watch a movie, I don't.
I'll
Resident Evil virus great.
I don't need to learn.
No, I'll dive deep.
No,
I'll go deep.
I can't do that because I don't care.
Honestly, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
viral disease happen?
No, man, I'll dive deep. Like there are times where like I'll be at Monica's.
You're just in a black hole, a mental black hole.
I did.
Like, whatever you're at.
Like there was one time where I got into a Titanic black hole. Like I was watching Titanic and I'm like, man, I want to learn more about this. Yeah. And then I just started watching documentary after documentary after. It was a lot of James Cameron. It's a lot of James Cameron.
I don't get like that when it comes to video games, but I think what it happens when I go into the YouTube spiral.
And that's
another way of doing it too.
So I do that with the YouTube spiral because now I'm now getting so many. I just watched one video and then spiraled from there. It was a guy that I don't know if you guys ever heard that he calls himself the Outdoors Boy.
Okay.
And he's like a middle-aged man. He's a family man and stuff. He lives in Alaska and he literally goes out in the middle of nowhere and teaches you how to survive. He builds.
So it's like a lanky white dude, right?
Yeah. He's like super nerdy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the guy who I'm always like, man, I'm gonna see this dude on.
But see, it's informative stuff.
So it's weird because other YouTubers have looked at this and he goes, he's had a really weird surge of views and subscribers because now every video he has is over 10 million views. He has over 20 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos?
I haven't, but I can kind of relate to one.
After this, they're gonna pop up. Now.
Okay, now the algorithm here's here's the So
honestly, I've learned a lot.
Yes,
I have on the off chance.
Yeah, if we go camping, I'm just saying. I
hold up.
Like when he was
Sorry, hold on.
It was super funny when he was talking about it, and then he was talking about like being snowed in and like making a snow shelter.
Oh yes.
And then he's like, oh, whatever you do, don't make a snow shelter on the floor. Like, don't put your bed on the floor.
Yeah.
He was like, you have to make a shelf.
Yeah.
And then put your bed because all of the cold.
You said that, and all of a sudden now I think I know who you're talking about.
And then he's like, and then because in my head I went, well, why would you do that? Like, obviously you would just put it on the floor. And he goes, no, because cold air, because it's so much denser, it goes straight to the ground.
Yes.
So that's how you get frostbite, and that's how people die.
Yeah.
He goes.
That's why also too. That's why like unfortunately when homeless people live on the street, they have something on the cement because you will get hypothermia if you just lay bare on the cement.
Because cement gets so much colder than the outside.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And what was it? The video that he had where he was like, oh yeah, you can just get coals and then make your bed.
Oh yeah.
And then you just get the coals and then throw it under the bed and you can survive.
He makes his bunk like a foot high. And then gets all like those warm coals from the fire from the last fire before he makes a new one, and puts them under his bed.
And that's how he stays
and that's
warm.
how he stays warm.
So
dude, I'm telling you right now,
the guy is cool actually.
And not only that, he has the most gourmet meals.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, because he actually makes his own food.
Because he makes his own food, and then he vacuum seals it, so that way it takes up less room.
Yeah.
Or he freezes it or dries it out, and then he'll then put it in his thing, and then you just hear him go like, so I have this chicken noodle soup. He's in the middle of the forest, and he's like, I'm gonna make chicken noodle soup with croutons and like these other things. And you're going like, what in the world are you doing? What are you talking about?
And then he'll be like, oh yeah, I have this caribou stew, or I have like this. Oh yeah, I also have some squirrel curry,
like squirrel curry, and you're just like, oh, what in the world are you talking about? And he's like, yeah. And then you see him heating it up. It's all frozen, it's like 2 degrees outside, and you just see him, and just ice is coming out of his mouth, and he's like, oh my god, it feels so good right now. Oh, he's just eating, and you're going like, dude, that looks delicious.
Yeah, he's kind of doing like a mukbang. It's so oddly satisfying to watch this man eat, and I'm just like,
really is.
Why am I want to watch more of these?
Yeah, and sometimes you just hit continue.
Yeah.
Throwback for you guys. You ready? So when I used to play Call of Duty a lot.
What? Okay.
Call of Duty.
Okay.
FPS Russia. You guys remember him?
What about him?
Do you remember him?
A little bit.
He was the Russian dude that basically like did a bunch of gun videos and like showed you how to use the guns or like how powerful they were.
I thought you meant the Russian hacker.
No. His name was FPS Russia on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there was controversy with him afterwards, but basically because of Call of Duty and playing so much of it, I would watch his videos, and they weren't like super informative, but like he showed you.
Is he in jail?
Yeah, he went to jail for I forget what it was for.
Felony possession of a controlled substance with an intent to distribute.
I don't know if he was.
Homeboy went to big boy jail.
Yeah, he did. But anyways,
For
he
some
would,
hard time.
So the guns that he has right there, those are the AA-12s, the shotguns.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a video way back in the day about it because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 had that shotgun, and it was like,
And I noticed because at the time you could akimbo those.
yes. And I'm like, can you really? And he like shows how the recoil mechanism works on the gun, and I'm like, ah. But again, because video games show you something, you then want to go and learn something else. Same thing with Fallout. I learned about U.S. history there.
That's a bad representation of U.S. history.
Yeah, that's what we
And that
don't.
one, they immediately turn into Nazis.
Exactly.
This one took time.
We're in the beginning stages, all right?
This
This is the great divergence. This is where it happens.
This one took a lot of time and effort. Now,
All right, we got 2 more pieces of news before we reach the last part when we'll talk about the Oscars very shortly. Let's go through it.
The Toxic Avenger will officially be getting a unrated wide theatrical release later this year. Filming wrapped in 2021. Currently sits at a 92%
On Rotten Tomatoes, which I forgot about this movie.
Yeah. They were pushing it, and then they stopped, and then now it's like, okay, I think they probably have reached a point where they have to put it out.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, but where are you seeing a 92%?
It should be on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what culture.
IMDb is calling it at a 5.9.
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a score.
It
92?
does have it at
Right there,
92.
92%.
I wonder what the difference is between IMDb and
I think IMDb is public,
Rotten Tomatoes.
is critics right now.
Well, this one says it's only 25 reviews, and the other one was
Those 25 people loved it.
The other one was 512. So
I think the people hated it.
What I find it interesting is that I don't know how they're gonna explain, because it's supposed to be Peter Dinklage
yes,
as the Toxic Avenger.
I thought it was Elijah Wood.
nope.
No,
Peter
Elijah
Dinklage.
Wood is the villain in it.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah, that's the villain. I think he's gonna play the mayor. Because the thing is that in a Toxic Avenger, he's like a tall 6-foot dude in the original. You know,
And this is Peter Dinklage.
this is
isn't it?
Peter Dinklage. That's what I find interesting, that they announce, oh yeah, we're gonna cast Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like,
Does he grow?
does he grow? Is he the voice? But it looks like from the stills, it's Peter Dinklage. I don't know if they're gonna have him grow over time.
He's on stilts.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That's the thing. So I'm very intrigued. Am I excited? A little bit, but I'm kind of wondering how they're gonna tell this story.
Yeah,
you know?
the first one was pretty good. I like the
the
original
first one.
Toxic Avenger.
I've always liked the first one.
Yeah,
the original.
It's a solid movie, and it's weird enough.
I tell people, if you want to know, if you hear the term trauma, you know, or a trauma film and stuff like that, watch the Toxic Avenger. It's the easiest one to get introduced to that whole production genre of trauma films, because they live off the whole over the top, low budget, cheesy, schlocky horror kind of thing.
I feel like we need more schlocky horror.
Yeah,
because right now we're in this like nice like sophisticated horror. Where it's like, oh, like I think it's gonna be wild to see in next year's Oscars where a horror film is gonna be nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
With Nosferatu,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's gonna be
It has
nominated
to
at
be.
least.
Yeah. It's gonna have some sort of nomination.
It's gonna have a few nominations for like either for cinematography, something. So I do want to see more of these, what used to be schlocky horror, elevated to a new level.
We're kind of getting that, and I think Terrifier is the spark that. I think that's why they're now moving forward with Toxic Avenger,
Because
probably.
they
they saw Terrifier and they're like, you know what, we can do it.
Yeah,
because
this
they
movie's
did it.
better than Terrifier,
Yeah.
It
and
was
they're
produced
and
with
they're
a lot
making
more.
yeah, but also more money doesn't mean it better.
No, yeah,
But it does take that confidence.
Yeah,
to-
it does. I mean, because Terrifier doesn't have like solid names.
Yeah.
like Terrifier kind of has like a bunch of
it
unknowns.
runs on its own. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, skip the last 2. Let's just go back. Let's go up to the Oscars.
Okay.
Yeah. Netflix raises its prices.
Yeah,
and Abbott
Netflix and
Elementary.
Abbott Elementary gets a 5th season.
That's it.
Netflix raising its prices, of course they did.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, the Oscars. I'm interested for that one. So Timothée Chalamet has been nominated for an Oscar 7 times, 7 years in a row. So his first one was Call Me by Your Name, 2017.
That's the one with Armie Hammer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where they're lovers, correct?
I think so.
Anyway, paste. Yes.
Yeah. That's on Max. You can watch that on Max.
Yes. Lady Bird. That was a good movie. I liked that one. Little Woman. Dune. He's actually pretty good at Don't Look Up.
Yeah, he's actually
I
funny.
really like him as the like the stoner dude who just doesn't really care that the world's ending. Yeah, he's pretty good in that. Dune Part 2, and then A Complete Unknown in 2024.
He's hitting it.
He's hitting it.
I can't be mad at it. You know, he's definitely doing a very successful acting career.
He's the new it guy.
Yeah.
You're kind of seeing him in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also he's squeaky clean. For right now. For right now, he's like nobody dislikes Chalamet.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't done anything that would piss people off.
He's a more advertisable Glenn Powell.
Yeah, and he's very likable. He interviews very well. People on set love him.
He resonates with both the older generation and then the younger generation too.
I
Even
think
the older generation likes him.
Yeah,
he looks like a James Dean type.
He's the everyman.
Yeah,
because like he came from basically like we can look at him as like he's basically one of us. He started out kind of like a little nerd who like was doing videos on YouTube and he didn't really think he was going to be successful, and then here he is with 7 different Oscar nominations in 7 years.
Yeah.
But I find it funny. I bring that up as like the way to segue into the Oscar talk real quick, because people always say that they don't like Chalamet because of certain roles that he does. Doesn't make sense why he's in Dune. Wonka was a big one where people didn't like him in Wonka, but I thought he was great.
I finally watched Wonka and it was actually really good.
Yeah, it was a good film.
I enjoyed him as Wonka.
Yeah, he was good. He was good Wonka. That version of Wonka, at least in that movie.
I think he did a good job of taking Gene Wilder's Wonka and making it younger, making him a little more toned down. Not so much Johnny Depp's.
No.
He was able to kind of tap into Gene Wilder, but also do his own thing.
That was a separate, different universe Wonka.
That's the weird one. That's the really weird one. I'm just saying, in 2018, 2019, that boy was busy.
Yeah.
Because Little Women 2021, Dune 2021,
oh man, he had
and Don't Look Up 2021.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying 2018, 2019. Because look, this comes out 2017. So, and then these, because of the pandemic, probably got delayed.
See, stuff like this where people need to realize that, like, why actors take breaks, you know?
Because they get burnt out.
They get burnt out, you know? That's what happened with Tom Holland. That's why he took a break, because he was burnt out from the MCU, you know?
Well, yeah, because they kept putting him in stuff.
They kept putting him in stuff. He had to film so many different things.
So, I want to see what his SNL is going to be this week, because he's hosting and musical guest. So, by now, it would have released.
He's
already.
both?
Yeah. He's both.
Oh.
He has music?
Yeah, he's promoting his movie.
Which complete? Which Complete Unknown?
Yeah, because he's who's
Bob Dylan, right?
Yeah, he's Bob Dylan. Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, he can sing.
I actually really do want to see him as Bob Dylan.
I liked his last SNL appearance.
It was funny.
Yeah, because and this is what I tell Andy. I'm like,
it's very memeable.
Yes, I think people forget that SNL is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And they like the one criticism I hear from SNL is like, I hate it when like the host breaks in their scenes. It's like you kind of want them to.
I always enjoy when they break because it's so you want to see how they're gonna recover.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time it's live, so you get that.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It's also fun. Like that's the whole point, right?
But I mean, no matter what, it's gonna it happens. We do skits, and sometimes we just stop and we're just cracking up laughing, because somebody said something or somebody did something that you were like, and then usually it's, please tell me the camera was rolling.
Please tell me we were recording.
Please tell me we were recording, and then somebody goes, no, I stopped the camera right when he did it. I hate you.
Sorry.
We can't
no, because I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've stopped recording, and then all of a sudden, and then somebody pops out and goes like, and I'm like, I wish I was still recording. That would be hilarious.
I was proposing this before we started recording because we do have to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Possibly doing a separate video where we talk about like kind of podcast setting and everything like that, but we go over the different nominations and do what we did last year, where we predict our own. And then put them in a sealed envelope.
So I love doing that. I think that the audience should choose what our punishment is within reason.
Who's gonna comment? Because Sarah's the only one that's been.
Sarah will get to choose what happens.
First person to comment.
Yeah.
We'll get to choose
That's not
within
Within reason.
within reason.
I'm not shaving my head
Yeah.
or my pubes.
Just don't look at me when you say that. No.
Light trim.
No.
He likes that
Some
bush.
highlights.
Oh, punishment for the loser.
Yes.
Oof. I forgot
That's what I'm talking
what
about.
That's what you did because I wasn't there.
You weren't there that day, but we did have a punishment for the loser.
Which was me, and Sean took it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sean. Sean
he
was
was
like,
upset.
it was so funny because Sean was like, "Oh, if it was me, if I did this, I wouldn't have lost."
I screwed him over.
and I was
funny, yeah,
like,
because he was
No,
looking at
I
all the
listened-
papers. and he was
I
like,
listened to that. I listened to that
No,
episode.
I remember seeing him looking through the papers, and he was like, "What was he high? Like, what was,
No.
why
I
is he
listened to
filling
that
this
episode.
out?"
The only reason he had a complaint was because he didn't like the fact that I didn't choose -1 as special effects.
Yeah.
I forget who I chose.
I don't know, but honestly, when he told us that you didn't choose -1, I think we all went, "What?"
Yeah, because I was upset that I got nominated for special effects because I didn't like the fact that it was getting so much noise for it when they weren't talking about the fact that it might have been produced with like a minimal budget and overworked. Like I didn't want that to be highlighted, and that was the only reason Sean lost. That was it. But
Hey, first off, we do Fast and the Furious rules. Doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. Loss is a loss. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's got a ding on his belt.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making a video. I got to find out when the Oscars are. Usually about like 2 months after the nominations get announced, or like a month out.
So the nominations just came out, so most likely they'll be in April?
February.
So 2 months after. It
Oh,
came
too
out in
much March.
January.
Sorry.
Either
I'm
March or
already
April.
dead.
So it's either March or April.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
young,
We'll
man.
do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, if you know what the rough thing is, you wouldn't be here again.
Yeah.
Sean with 2 punishments.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here again.
No, you're
Someone
not.
has to pull mine out again. Someone has to pull mine out.
It's not gonna be me.
And
not
they have to
me.
do, they have 2 chances of winning.
It's okay. We'll give it to which one? We'll bring Mandy on that episode. She can get that loser.
Just purposely get them all wrong.
Dude, I'm down. Give her a real bad punishment. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God! Bring a special guest for when I'm gone for that month.
I'm down. We can do Noel.
I think Noel would be
Noel.
fine.
Noel.
I think
we can
Are
Noel
you
do-
sure
have a
you're gonna
blast.
handle that? Because Noel was aiming to piss you off that day. He was pushing your buttons.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the crow.
Yeah.
You know what? We brought Noel too much. Let's see. Noel. Now that you mention it, we'll bring back Philip quick. Let's go.
Yeah.
Which one? We'll bring him
Talk
back.
about hot dogs.
My
Yeah, we'll bring. Well,
ADHD.
I just want him to go like, whoa, the Oscars? Did they have hot dogs?
Or connects a hot dog with the Oscar nominations.
Or which as we're going through, just like, oh, but what about if he made it? What about if that movie was about Jack in the Box?
We'll talk more about the Oscars when we get closer to that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, I think we're done. Let's wrap up the show.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. Samsung had a showcase. They released the new phones.
I
They did
forget,
everything like
man. It just reminds me I have another year
That's
with my phone.
crazy that got people pay that much for a phone. But then I forget there's a contract thing, so you have payments on it.
Also,
Yeah.
without the payments, we wouldn't be running cameras.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
very,
But
very true.
these are not my phones. $300.
All
Metro
I need.
PCS. That's it.
you
It's which if you want the 1 terabyte, it's $1,419.
That's
I'm
reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
fine. I don't need it.
This is a nice phone though. It's nice.
No, it is. I can't afford it.
It looks like an iPhone.
You
Yeah,
know what?
with
It
the
does.
flat sides now.
yeah,
Yeah, with those flat sides, it kind of looks like an iPhone.
it does actually.
I gotta wait till the 26th, then I'll
think-
get it.
I'm probably gonna get the 25.
What
You're gonna
color?
get
Huh?
What color? The blue's not bad.
The blue's not bad.
No, the white one's not bad either.
I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
I like that the gentle gray.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty cool.
It's
The
gonna get
cream.
covered up by a case anyways. Too.
That's 100% true. I'm gonna put a case on it. No
It's
matter
just the
what.
fact that I
I'm putting a
know
case
that it's
on it.
there.
I know
what
it's
color it is.
I know it's a pretty color.
I know what color it is.
I know
All
a
right,
pretty color.
let's wrap
that
up
is.
the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here at issue 232. Don't forget to check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. Check out our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up with the Nerds. And check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have an announcement that we're currently working on. We hopefully will get it to you guys soon. If you guys are following us this late into the show, be aware we'll post it on Instagram when it's finally confirmed. But keep an eye out, guys.
We'll get the news when we get the news.
Yeah, exactly. Be patient, or we send
Yes.
Rene after you. The Toxic Avenger.
The toxic.
I'm fine with that.
Literally.
Alrighty, are we ready to wrap up the show?
Yes.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 232. My name is Bryan.
Renee.
Signing up from Undercity Comics. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.